What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Rico, the acronym, and you know what time it is. It's time for Rico's Rants. That's right. So I kind of tried to avoid the topic because it seemed like everybody was talking about it, but then I thought to myself, why would I avoid a topic that everybody's talking about? That's pretty fucking stupid. So let's talk about debate. Let's talk about debate. Okay, so first of all, before I say anything, I do not believe anything that man said at Rolling Loud was right, was needed, it was inappropriate, and honestly, like you could have did the entire set without that. Like, are you going for the villain role or something? Is that what you're doing? Because I don't know. But all that to the side, the man has apologized since then. He's put out a couple different types of apologies. You know what I mean? It's definitely been a roller coaster of like kind of like the apology the bully gives in the principal's office when they get caught up doing some shit and like somebody mama come up to the school and really like clown and like they kind of in the office like half ass like yo I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying, shit like that, try to kind of explain it off, oh I wasn't trying to say, I got a problem with gay people. I'm just saying the gay niggas I know on some big dog shit. Da da da. Like motherfucker, you gave your best shot. You know what I'm saying? But the best way to say I'm sorry is just I'm sorry. Let's just be real about that shit. Uh, the best way, just call it that. All the paragraphs and explanations, they're nice, but they're unnecessary. They're very unnecessary. Just like what you said was unnecessary as hell. But me personally, I do believe that people can change. I do believe people that are ignorant of their ignorance, if that makes any sense, people that are ignorant of their ignorance can be taught otherwise and can learn better. I know I'm one of them, and I've been one to teach others. So, do I believe his apologies are real? Sure. Yeah. I mean, the last one he just released yesterday did seem kind of scripted. And just like I told a buddy of mine earlier, I don't believe any of us will actually know whether he had a change of heart or not because we're not in a circle. So that's not really for me to judge. I mean, you take it at face value, you take it how you want. Like, I completely understand those people that are like, oh, he just did that because he's losing money and he don't really mean that shit. Like, yeah, it definitely looks like it. Like, it doesn't look genuine, and especially when you say the good apology through typing, but not what you when you was on video, it wasn't none of that. But like now that you didn't, I guess had a couple days, lost a couple dates, you know what I'm saying? Somebody in your team is like, we got to do something about this shit. But the best way to apologize is definitely just say I'm sorry, and to say it with your mouth and your chest. You know what I'm saying? You gotta say it just as bold as you said the shit on stage. You know what I mean? That's the only way it's really gonna come off real to people. You know what I'm saying? So DaBaby, if you're watching this, I'm sure you're not, but there you go. Now, on to my next subject because this definitely includes DaBaby and hip hop as a whole. Um, and maybe this is just me being an asshole. I don't know. But I do believe we have got to stop expecting street niggas not to do street shit. Yeah, that's right. I said it. People that come from the gutter, people that come from the street are going to do street shit. And as much as we don't like to admit it, black people, the streets is homophobic than a motherfucker. And I still am not 100% sure why. We could go back into the history of it and talk about how the colonizers introduced Christianity to us, which is extremely, against gay and all that other stuff. So, we could go there. We could go to a whole bunch of different places. But at the end of the day, the streets on an average day is homophobic than a motherfucker. That's just what it is. Does that mean the streets hate gay people? Not 100%, but it's definitely not something that's accepted. And until very recently, people weren't getting called out like this. I hate to invoke the name of the great and the late Earl Simmons, DMX. If you go listen to Where the Hood At, that is one of the most homophobic songs I've ever heard in my life. Not just like homophobic lines, the whole song is pretty homophobic. What do you say? Even if we squash the beef, I ain't touching your hand. Like, that's like supremely homophobic shit. And of course, back then it was accepted because motherfuckers was ignorant of a whole lot of shit, and the LGBTQ community wasn't as accepted as it is now. which of course brings up the next notion of, there's a gay agenda, which doesn't fucking exist, but I've already said my piece on that one before in other videos. If you don't know, now you know. I don't believe the shit exists. Is what it is. And I'm not saying that people shouldn't be mad at DaBaby. I'm not saying people shouldn't have their opinions and their emotions on what he said, because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there that got HIV and AIDS that are all types of pissed about that shit, because they feel like he was trying to say that they were lower class or some shit, or they were trashy because they had this horrible, virus. And, I could understand that completely. I get it. I get it 100%. But one thing we can do as audiences of all this shit is stop expecting certain shit from certain people. Understand that the culture that made that person is homophobic as shit. Nobody wants to admit it. Nobody wants to talk about it because things are starting to change. But it's the truth. And so if you expect somebody who was raised on a, pretty homophobic platform, to do anything but, what you gonna do, Now, we don't have to raise them up as icons. We don't have to make sure they're paid like that. But always understand there's going to be somebody that does. We got to change the culture from the inside out. We got to change the culture at the house first. You dig what I'm saying? Teach your kids better. You know what I'm saying? Notice the shit you do wrong, and then don't worry about that. As far as this dude, hey, you know what? Fuck you, and keep it moving. You know what I'm saying? Now, let's address the homophobia within the black community, and let's not just do it through DaBaby or the next person that says something homophobic, or the next, big let's address it at the house too. Let's address it at the crib. Let's address it at the schools. Let's address it at the football games, the baseball, basketball games. Let's address it at the skate park. Let's address it everywhere where there's black people, because there's a lot of it. Now, y'all know what's cracking. I done already said too damn much. Like, subscribe, holla at your boy on the IG, the Twitter. Let me know what you think about it. If you think I'm a dumbass, get in the comments. Call me all types of crazy shit. I do not care. It's your boy Rico. It's Rico's Rants. Peace.